Alright guys, Dominic here for Kit Guru, and this is the Elite Element R pre-built system from PC Specialist. Can you spot the issue yet? Or how about now when we turn it on? Or it does become pretty obvious with a little zoom in. Yeah, we need to talk about this one. To cut right to the chase then, I was sent the Elite Element R as a pre-configured machine directly from PC Specialist, though it is also possible to spec it yourself manually using the PC Specialist configurator. My sample though has a Ryzen 7 9700X, RTX 5070, ASUS ROG Strix B850i motherboard, 32GB of DDR5, plus we've got the SF750 PSU and the Corsair Nautilus 240 RS cooler, all in the Thermaltake TR100 ITX chassis. To be clear, we are not reviewing this system today, although that was initially the plan, as during my initial testing and setup phase for this system, I noticed what is a pretty fundamental issue with this pre-built PC, which, in all honesty, I just can't believe PC Specialists have missed. To get right to it then, if you hadn't already noticed, the Thermaltake TR100 uses a split chamber design. So you've got the motherboard and CPU in one half, and then you've got the GPU in the second chamber, which is connected via a riser cable, something we've seen loads of times in ITX cases. The clear issue is though that the riser cable itself has not been routed properly, or even routed at all, as it's straight up jammed into one of the AIO's exhaust fans, completely stopping it from spinning. Now, I've not actually used this case before up until now, but it doesn't take a genius to work out that something is clearly not right. But I also know that James actually did a build in this exact case last year, so I opened that up and you can probably tell from the images here, but there's actually meant to be this sort of cable bracket or crossbar area just for the riser cable, and this should clamp the riser down to avoid this exact issue. That bracket has been installed here, and you can even see the corners of it and the channel where the riser is meant to go, but it's underneath the riser itself in the PC Specialist system. We can see that the other all-in-one fan is not hindered at all and can spin freely, but this one is completely jammed. It can't move whatsoever, and I just can't believe this has been completely missed. It took me all of 2 seconds to spot the issue once I'd taken the side panel off the case, but somehow this made it through all of PC Specialist building and testing procedures and out the door. Obviously then, for the purposes of this video, I did do some testing with the system as it arrived to me, but I also went ahead and fixed the issue myself. It wasn't anything major. The top radiator mount can be unscrewed and then lifted out the way. I then unplugged the riser cable from the PCIe slot, unscrewed that bracket for the riser cable, reconnected the riser, and fixed it down by screwing in the bracket with just a slight rebend of the riser cable itself. Obviously, the process would be even easier if the system had been built with this in mind, but it only took me all of 5 minutes. To demonstrate what the issue had on thermals then, I've run through Cinebench for an all-core CPU workload, and before applying the fix, after a 30-minute loop we can see package power at 88 watts, while the CPU T-die hovered around 65 to 66 degrees with a peak of 73.6 Celsius. Clock speed was also just under 4.4 GHz too. Now, those results may not be worrying taken on their own, but with only a 240mm all-in-one in this system, and with one of those fans just not running at all, thermals were obviously not going to be as good as they should have been. So once I fixed the issue, we went back and reran the same test, and we saw a pretty significant drop in thermals, with a steady state CPU temperature now around 58 degrees, while the peak was just 61.9 C. It was even clocking slightly higher too, not by much, but it was always above 4.4 GHz, whereas before it was almost always below that figure. What's really interesting as well is that I also used my thermal imaging camera before and after the fix, and I noticed another decent drop in reported temperature on the back of the motherboard, the area directly under where the fan hadn't been spinning. Now, it was only high 60s to begin with, so we're not talking dangerous levels, but clearly the extra airflow over that area has an effect, as we saw that drop down to more like the low 60s once the fan was fixed. I also tried a gaming workload with Cyberpunk 2077 to see if that made much difference, and before the fix we saw a CPU steady state of 70 degrees and a peak of 71.8 C. With our fix applied, the steady state dropped to around 65 C, while the peak was 69.6 C, so not as big a difference as we saw from our Cinebench testing, but definitely not nothing either. If you're wondering as well, GPU thermals were effectively unchanged either way, as the GPU is drawing its own air directly from the vented side panel, so the key difference really is the CPU thermals as we saw. The last bit of testing I'm going to show then is going to be noise levels, as we did observe a slight decrease to fan speed when we fixed the issue, purely because 2 fans can run slightly slower as opposed to a single fan doing all the work on its own. Here's a quick sound test then for both Cyberpunk and Cinebench, and I'll put the reported fan speeds on screen for you to see. For me then, this whole issue raises two clear issues with PCSpecialist and their procedures. Firstly, I'd question how well they're actually training their staff, considering they didn't know to do this for the TR100 and its riser cable. As mentioned, I've never used this case in my life either, but it didn't take a genius to spot that something was not right, and a quick 2-minute Google showed me exactly what I was supposed to do, but that was missed at PCSpecialist. Secondly, you also have to massively call into question PCSpecialist testing and quality control procedures. On their website, they talk about extensive stress tests and quality control checklists to ensure all components are correct, but the system itself can't be that extensive if something like this has been missed. I mean, I can understand that if you're only looking at raw CPU thermals, the temperatures we showed earlier in this video aren't worryingly high, but again, as I said, you only need to open up the case and take a quick look inside to spot that something clearly isn't right, but that also clearly hasn't happened at PCSpecialist. It's funny because PCSpecialist actually send you an email while the system has just finished being built. It's designed to show you, I guess, a preview of what the machine actually looks like before it ships out. It is a nice touch, but you can even see from these images that something clearly is not right. The riser cable is obviously impeding the fan, but not a single person noticed along the way. Clearly, PCSpecialist needs to do a whole lot better, and the fact that this happened to us, with a review unit no less, really makes me question how many actual paying customers ordered a system using this case and ended up with a similar issue. PCSpecialist are also quite fortunate that we were sent a 9700X system, which, as we saw, is pretty low power, pulling just 88 watts. But you can spec this system all the way up to a 9950X, which could pull well over 200 watts, and at that point, effectively losing one of your two AIO fans would have a far more detrimental effect to that CPU at that level of power draw. We're talking throttling, loss of performance, even potential overheating and system shutdowns. Now, I do appreciate that if you did buy this system and spotted the issue, you could easily reach out to PCSpecialist. They'd collect the system from you, fix it and return it, as all of their online purchases do come with a minimum of 6 months collect and return. But that really isn't the point. It's much more of a fundamental issue as to how this system even got shipped out the door in the first place. And like I said, it calls into question both the training of their staff and PCSpecialist quality control procedures. Please, PCSpecialist, for everyone's sakes, do better. Anyway guys, that is where I'm going to leave this video. If you liked it, please do toss me a thumbs up, and as always, let me know your thoughts down in the comments below. Please do subscribe if you haven't already, and be sure to ding that notification bell so you don't miss when we upload a new video. If you want to carry on the conversation as well, you can find a link to our Discord server down in the description, and while you're there, you'll also find links to both our merch store and our Patreon. That's it for this one though guys. I'm Dominic for Kit Guru, and I'll see you in the next video.